Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we today?
How are you?
Well, it's been a day already,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't even work out today. It's been a day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take just a second here to click share.
And if you all would do the same, would be able to like, follow, and share. My ears feel like they are like muted.
Really? Is that a technical thing or an ear thing?
I think it's a technical thing.
Uh-oh. Well, you sound fine on this end.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to turn up my volume and maybe that's the answer.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
How's everybody doing today?
Let's see some comments. We need to see if the comments are even working. I think my mother-in-law was messaging us last week, and we didn't see any of her comments. So
no, I didn't see any of them.
I
didn't see. I saw people were watching. I saw they were tuned in, but I did not see any comments.
And by the way, thanks for tuning in, because without you, we wouldn't have an audience.
No.
We'd be just chatting with each other.
Just be talking to each other.
Which we can do.
I'm totally fine with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We do it.
If there's anybody in the world I just want to sit and talk to, it'd be you. So
Aww.
We win all the way around.
That's precious.
So yeah, what's everybody doing this week? Is it fair week? We had a really nasty storm last night.
Oh my goodness, we did.
Trees were down everywhere. Mm-hmm. There was about 60, 70 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
And I was just praying the whole time that I didn't have to take all of my zoo down to the basement because I got spiders in the basement. Not these nice, pretty basements that they make these days. You know, all these people have these finished basements. That's not us. Spiders. You're one of those. You got I would live in your basement.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have that, and then we did it.
No. Spiders, like the Michigan Wall.
Oh,
that's what we have. And so I only go down there just to do 2 seconds of laundry and come right back up.
Right. Yeah, I remember waking up and hearing that. And we've previously had weather like this in the past 2 days or so. We had one tree that first time, I think it was right after our live.
Yeah.
And we noticed that a limb, like a whole giant limb, came off of our only tree around the house.
Yeah.
And then, so we chopped that up right after. And then the day before, I think that was recently, Sunday, we came home to limbs falling out of the tree, and then they're still there. We haven't fixed those yet because I was gonna just drag them, but they're like these limbs.
Yeah, no dragging. Although you've been known to have moved things with your tractor
in my body, yes,
in your body. Mm-hmm.
There, you can do a lot of things when you have that adrenaline.
Oh yeah, yeah. So It's a good day. It's a good day.
Yeah.
So do you want to bring up do you want to bring up a radical topic? Should we go there?
I don't know. Wait, which are we, like, our topic that we're talking about today?
Our topic to talk, no, that's not pretty radical.
Okay.
Although it's frustrating because it's what but let's open the show.
Oh no. What are we doing?
So I've spent my week in Twitter, in the Twitter sphere, X. I'm sorry. So I've spent my time over there because our president was nearly assassinated this weekend, and it was a big deal. It was a big honking deal. Right. And so I've spent time over there, and because I have to kind of separate my lives, of
this and that. Yeah,
my radical stuff's over on X. I try to keep it pretty tame over on Facebook. I have opinions. It's
Y'all
just, it
do.
is the case. But
Y'all do.
here's the question. And there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. Actually, I think there is a wrong answer to this.
Oh, no.
But should, and I don't care what side of the aisle you are politically, should our president be protected by a healthy, fit human being?
Oh, this
On
is
all
a
sides
very,
of the aisle. On all sides of the aisle.
I mean,
The leader of the most powerful nation in the world, should he or she be protected by someone who is fit and healthy, not obese, not low in stature, short? Should he be protected by somebody healthy?
so somebody, you know how the rockets have a certain standard of
Uh-huh.
being a rocket, maybe a
Yes.
certain standard for what is going to protect
Uh-huh.
the
The
one of the
most
most important people on our in our country.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
Dallas Cowboys have a certain standard,
yeah.
Now theirs is like a beauty probably standard, but I was really bothered by what happened this weekend because I watched the former president be
Mm,
protected by someone who was not fit, who was struggling to even control her weapon. But my perspective is the health size. When I was obese, I couldn't have moved. I
mm,
couldn't have operated my body in a way that would have protected anybody, and I was really bothered by that.
right. It's
Um,
I would say honestly, if you think about it in this perspective, like if they're willing to give up their life for somebody else and stand in front of a bullet, I don't know if it matters what size because that still is you're still a target blocker. But you have a good point too. Like you still need to be able to be fit enough
you
to
need to
get there
be,
quickly
yeah.
and to create a barrier. I
And
don't
there's
know.
no participation trophy when it comes to protecting the leader of the most powerful country. I don't
Mhm.
believe that there is a participation. Everybody, there most people are of my perspective of, yes, there needs to be a standard for those who protect, those people. And maybe there's a place for people who are not as healthy. Maybe there's a place, maybe there's a desk job, there's something, but to be right in front and center of the most powerful leader in the world, to me there needs to be a standard, and there's no participation trophy
Mhm.
for that. And yeah, there needs to be a standard. And
Yeah.
I think we are doing ourselves a disfavor when we have this body positivity movement of everybody can get the job. No, everybody can't get the job. And so that's my soapbox of the day. I
I
do
mean,
believe and there needs to be standards.
it's a lot to think about because
Yes.
I do see what you're saying,
Hmm.
but I don't know enough about how they choose high security. Like
But I
I
do
don't know
know
that.
how I felt when I was obese.
Yeah.
When I had a
Yeah.
weight problem, I do know my limitations, and I do know what I could and couldn't do and what you can physically do when you are of a certain size. I do
Right.
know that perspective. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where we're going to start
Well,
the show today.
even in the military, you have to be a certain stature to be in
Absolutely.
the military.
The
So,
SEALs. You have to.
yeah. Yeah.
So I
So,
think the leader of
for a
our free
reason.
world, whether it be on the D side or the R side, I believe that person needs to have the most fit, the most big, the most efficient and qualified
Yeah.
person in the world. There should be no levels there. That's my thought of the
It's
day.
interesting though, like what your viewpoint was in that situation
Uh-huh.
and what maybe some other people's like what
Uh-huh.
highlight in that moment
Uh-huh.
spoke out to them. It's just like
Oh
a
yeah.
message at
Oh, I'm
church.
watching it. I'm watching
You
it
know?
over on X. People are pro participation trophies. They're like,
Uh,
well, she did the best she could. Well, that's great for her. It's not great for the person she's protecting, or he. It's a
yeah.
he or she
Yeah.
kind of thing
Yeah. I don't
situation.
know. I don't know.
So
It's a good
yeah,
I mean, it's a good thinking
it's a good
question.
way to start the show this
It
morning.
is, but that's not what we're talking about
Not
today.
what we're talking about. Not what we're talking about.
I love those. I love
Oh, yeah,
those
you never know.
snaggers.
You never know what you're going to get when I'm on the show. Because I'll
Right.
talk about it. I
You
will
will.
talk
Yeah.
about it.
That's
But I do
fine.
want to talk about something today that really is frustrating for us as coaches, right?
Yeah.
There is there 9 times out of 10 when we work with clients, we deal with this.
Yeah.
And there's some clients who deal with it very well
Mm-hmm.
because they are in charge of their health. And then there's some people who just fall for this every time. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to follow up with our show from last week about once you find
Ooh,
out your what?
a series 2. Sweet.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
didn't
an
even know it.
unexpected series, right? And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Jackie Kilgore. There's a lot we don't know about what happened this
I know.
weekend.
It's so true.
Oh, you know what? I have a lot of tinfoil hats that I pull out of my closet all the time. I saw this really funny meme. It was a picture of the foil section,
Yeah.
the tinfoil section at the grocery store. And there was a sign that says free hats with each purchase.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
So
back on track.
enablers.
Yeah.
When you discover that you have a serious food addiction problem, or
Mhm.
even that you want to go on a health journey, it doesn't even have to be food addiction at that, at that matter. Everybody has a food enabler. And I didn't realize the how much this was a problem until we started coaching,
Mm.
because we see it on Dr. Now's show. We see it on, my 600-pound life. When these people get into the situation where they can't even walk anymore, or their health is so bad, and you see them stuck in a bed, right? Because they can't walk, they're still eating just as much. And so we noticed it with, those shows, those, pretty radical shows that everybody has an enabler, all of those people on the show. And when we say those people, I'm like, no, 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 it's our clients as well. We live in a society where people really care what's on your plate, as weird as that sounds.
It's true.
I'm like, I never realized that until I went on a health journey, and people would look at my plate. Now they do all the time because I'm a coach and we are under the microscope all the time. People automatically look at our plates, which is why we don't get invited out to eat ever.
Is that why?
It's why. It's
I
not,
thought it was my non-filter mouth. I don't know.
well, it could be that too.
We're a mess. We're a mess.
Nobody wants to take us out to dinner.
That's
But
not
people
true.
really care what is on your plate. They care what you're eating and what you're not eating, out of guilt, out of maybe they're wanting to follow you, or why does my food addiction and recovery group say the live videos ended? What's going on there? Did yours do that?
No, it's still going.
All right. So we're still live. We'll keep going. As long
I
as it's
think.
still live. I'm going to check here real quick. It says we're still
I
live.
mean,
If we're still live, put a thumbs up in the comment section.
I'm looking.
Mine says your live has ended. So who knows?
Oh, interesting. Hold on. Let me see what's happening here.
Uh-huh.
This one. I mean, the main page is still going. So,
all right. So we're gonna keep talking, even if it's just the two of us.
Might as
We'll
well.
have to keep talking. But one of the most frustrating things that we have as coaches is the enablers in our clients' lives. And the enabling can happen for lots of reasons. It could happen out of genuine concern. It can happen, because people are jealous and they literally want to sabotage your journey. But what do we do? Darcy, talk to me a little bit. Thanks, Jackie. Talk to me a little bit about your perspective when you're working with a client. What are your perspectives and maybe frustrations when it comes to enablers in our lives?
The frustration is for me when a client is, doing really well and has like the cycle of I'm going to do well, I'm going to do well, and then all of a sudden they may not have even identified them as an enabler, but uh the weekend comes or a certain celebration comes along, and then the person's not like the one that maybe lives with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually, I mean, we're not doing this, if you have a spouse and they're not doing what you're doing, they are still eating the old lifestyle, the Western diet, and they have those things in the house. Like
Mm-hmm.
you might be able to resist those things at first, but then there's a weakness when we
Mm-hmm.
become unguarded. And so when that happens, it's really frustrating because they know that cycle, they see that cycle, and it becomes more prominent when they are, wondering, like, why do I keep taking the exit ramp? Why do
Mm-hmm.
I keep listening to these people tell me that I need to try this?
Mm-hmm.
It's really frustrating as a coach because I'm like, I don't know how to coach that until you are able to say no
Mm-hmm.
to your enabler or
Mm-hmm.
identify them as an enabler.
Yeah.
You have to pinpoint that. And I mentioned to you before we came on here, I'm like, sometimes we don't really see them as an enabler until we are trying really, really hard to stay on course.
Mm-hmm.
Then those enablers are starting to become a little bit more like light,
Mm-hmm.
shining in your eyes. Like, oh, well, I've got this person in my life that obviously I haven't been hanging out with them as much anymore because they don't want to take me to dinner, or
Mm-hmm.
there's just it's really frustrating because they have a goal in mind,
Mm-hmm.
but they have those enablers that start to appear. I
Yeah.
see them as like the Pac-Man ghosts.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
start chasing you.
So we need to identify who they are
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
so that we're not caught unaware, because usually what happens with our clients is they're doing wonderful when they are, on their own, when they are in charge of what they're eating. So Monday through Friday they do wonderful, and then all of the sudden they get sideswiped on the weekends.
Yeah.
They get sideswiped at on Wednesday night Bible study. They're just sideswiped, and we don't identify why there's such a side swipe. We don't identify who those enablers are, and we just fall into their trap.
Hmm.
Whether they're doing it intentionally, some people actually do
Yeah.
intentionally
Yes.
sabotage because
Yes.
they don't want you to get healthy.
Yes.
They want to pull you down with them in their pit,
I
right?
I recall someone that we coached that was exactly the story,
Mm-hmm.
where they were jealous of this person
Yeah.
trying to get healthy. That they were like, well, why do I have to now suffer because
Mm-hmm.
you are changing the way you're eating?
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me of like, when you are doing the things and you are losing the weight, I've had this question, so have you. It's like, when are you done?
Right.
When are you going to be done?
Yeah.
Then you need to highlight that person in your life.
When are you done messing around?
When are you done
Right.
with being keto? When are you
Mm-hmm.
done being carnivore?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want you to eat the way we all are eating
Mm-hmm.
because, and the fact is that our bodies are where they are for a reason,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, we've done it our entire lives. And so
Mhm.
many people just want you to get over the fad. They've seen you fail so many times, and
Yeah.
this happened to me. They're all just waiting. All right, we're going to wait till she gets over this fad. And so a lot of people go into it, like, full-hearted supporting their person on the front side because they know, well, all it's going to take is just, 3 months and she's going to fall off the wagon anyway. And so we get really close to that 3 months and they're like, hey, all right, are you ready? Here's a cookie.
Right.
Are you ready? Because we know you're going to fail anyway. And
Right.
we can blame that on diet culture. Diet
Mhm.
culture has taken us on this up and down for so many years. It's just expected that we're
Right.
going to fall out. Now, I have had a client in the past whose significant other preferred them in a larger body, and they would do everything they could to sabotage this because they preferred the larger person, or they felt more secure in their marriage because their person was, they were holding back in
Mhm.
life, and they
Yeah.
were not they're not improving themselves, and that other person preferred them to stay in that state. And so we've had, marriage issues of somebody saying, hey, I prefer you back here in the back seat.
Right.
I prefer you in this body because I know that, you know. So there's a
And
lot
then
of sick ways. There's a
yeah.
lot of sick, and it doesn't have to be this one mold of an enabler.
Mhm.
It could be somebody who doesn't understand keto, who doesn't understand what happens when you eat a carb. I posted this on Facebook this week. It is not healthy fat that makes you crave sugar. It is sugar. It is carbs that make you hungry, like physically hungry.
Yeah.
When you eat fats and proteins, that's a natural GLP-1. You could do this whole weight loss shot thing for free while eating steak and butter, right?
Mhm.
But when we bring carbs in, it makes us hungry. So there's people who don't understand the science behind why we do what we do. And so
Yeah.
they're like, hey, just one bite won't hurt you. Just
Right.
one bite, right?
And then there you've got the group of people that have maybe hit, and this is the part of the diet cycle where they hit
Mm-hmm.
the weight that they want to hit, and then
Mm-hmm.
they think that, oh, I don't have to eat this way anymore because I'm at my goal weight.
Uh-huh.
They think they're going to maintain their weight and their health
Uh-huh.
because they hit that goal weight. But that's when somebody sees you at that goal weight, they're like, well, you're small. Why would you not eat this? Why would you
Yeah.
not consume this drink? Why would you? Because I mean, when are you like going back to the same thing I said before? Like, when are you done?
Yeah.
You can't,
Yeah.
when you are living a lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
versus a diet. Those two are very different.
Very
When
different.
you have
Yeah.
the diet mindset, yeah, you're going to be able to join in on the party again, but then you're going to find yourself back in the same place that you were before you started. The
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle is knowing that these foods that you're feeding yourself is not beneficial for your health,
Mm-hmm.
and you will go backwards. You cannot eat like when you were maybe 25. If you
Right.
are older, you cannot do that,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Especially living in this western world here that we have, the
Mm-hmm.
United States of America to be exact. We have an obesity issue,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because of all of this junk and garbage that we're putting in all of the
Mm-hmm.
foods. And yeah, we're gonna have to not eat those pastas or the carbs that
Mm-hmm.
you could probably eat overseas.
Right. Right.
So you have to come to that conclusion. If you live here in America, you're going to have to eat different.
Right. Yeah, you will. And, the person who saved my life was my 26-year-old son. Well, about 3 years into it, he's like, well, Mom, are you going to go? Are you going to go out with us and have this, bread? I forget if it was a drink or if it was bread. I'm like, no, no, I'm not.
Right.
So a lot of times it's people who simply don't understand food addiction. They just don't understand the consequences of what happens if I were to go to Texas Roadhouse and put a roll in my mouth. If I did that, it would be over.
Right.
And they just don't understand that because maybe they have a different spine. What is the word I want? A different resistance than I
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
Maybe they're able to do it. So they just truly don't understand.
Right.
But it's very important to understand the possibility of somebody who is sabotaging, somebody who is intentionally saying, I don't want you to progress. I don't want you to lose more weight than I did. I don't, so you have to be aware of all of the different, putting your armor on all sides of your body and
Mhm.
all sides of your mind to understand that, like Darcy said, this is a lifestyle. I will never go back because of the scientific reasons of the way I'm eating, right?
Right.
um, Putting processed food into my body now is revolting to me because I've understood and because I've studied the impact of processed food addiction. It is disgusting what they
Yeah.
have put in our food. And so for me, I'm unable to unsee the consequence of that. And so for me, it's easier. The longer you do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where if you have some sort of uh, allergy that would kill you, you're not going to take that
Mm,
food
mm-mm.
and put it in your mouth because somebody wanted you to eat it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you are that person that is saying, "Hey, why can't you eat this peanut?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you eat this thing?" Knowing that it would kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to be that person to kill that
Right.
person because you just wanted to see them eat that? Like what
Yeah.
and join in on what everybody else is doing? That is where you can tell yourself like these foods that I'm consuming in the past are the very things that were slowly killing my
They're
body
killing
on
me.
the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and it is shortening your life.
Yeah.
So I can now choose to expand my
Mm-hmm.
lifelong, hopefully, God willing, a longer life versus a shorter life in misery eating what I'm eating. Where,
Yeah.
you've got to think of those things and be okay with saying, no, I don't
Mhm.
really want it to kill me.
Yeah.
Or you can tell them I'm allergic to this.
Yeah.
There's so many people allergic to dairy and, and what is it? Gluten, all those things.
Gluten. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to give somebody dairy and gluten then, are you?
Right.
Like what? To all those enablers out there that are doing that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Shame on you. Stop it. Support your person. Support. Now, if they're doing damage to their body, if they are on a starvation diet, if they are taking a dangerous drug, absolutely
Yeah.
speak into their life. There is a need for you to do that because they're hurting themselves, right? But if you are seeing somebody who's giving up the foods, like Darcy said, that are killing them, the sugars, the processed foods, those kinds of things, support them.
Yeah.
Be their biggest cheerleader, because I'm telling you, when you're in the muck and when you are in the trenches of, wait, maybe the scale's not moving like you want it to, maybe you are missing, maybe you're grieving over those foods that were killing you, you really need support. If that person is changing and their skin is, radiating, if they are doing something that they're looking amazing, let them know that. Be their biggest cheerleader and say, hey,
Yeah.
how are you doing this?
Yes.
If they're hurting themselves, then yes, I do speak into people and say, hey, there's a better way. There's a better way. You don't have to hurt yourself in order to lose weight.
Yeah. And most likely if somebody is giving you their opinion, they could be having their own struggles. So they need to make sure that they're looking at themselves in the mirror first before they're giving their opinion.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing working?
Exactly. How's it working for you?
Yeah, how's it working for you? But really, honestly, the whole thing with the clients, it is one of those things for us as coaches. We have to be able to help them identify those enablers and be able to empower them to be able to say no.
Yeah.
If they're not empowered, then there's something deeper that they need to go see, either a counselor or somebody else to talk to. Be like,
Yeah.
okay, why am I so weak when it comes to certain people like this telling me what to do?
Right.
Why do I feel the need to people please
Yeah.
so much? So, I mean, it's things to ask yourself too. Why do I care so much what these people think
Right.
around me?
Yeah. Yeah. It is three-dimensional. If you don't understand your why enough to fight for yourself, you're going to be the first one to fall into those temptations. Number two, if you're not feeding your body correctly, if you're hungry all the time, you're going to fall for those enablers immediately.
Yes.
Right now it's fair season. Fair season just is a killer. I mean,
It is.
who loves to walk through the fair with the elephant ears and all of those smells of the grease and
Fried
not,
Oreos.
yeah, and not, it is a hard time for our clients.
Smells great.
Now, the great thing is every time you say no and every time you make it without cheating, your resistance and your backbone grows stronger and stronger. I can physically, literally walk through a fair right now and it almost smells bad.
Yeah.
I am not
I
tempted
smell the
any
oil.
longer. Yeah, you do. You smell the chemicals. You
Yeah.
smell. I'm not tempted anymore. And what happens is I see the things that I can eat. I see those turkey legs. I see those things that are available to me that I can eat. And I honestly don't smell them anymore. I don't know how long it took me till I came to that point. Whether, I don't know if it was a year, I don't know. But when our clients cheat, when they fall off the rail, you can count on at least another 2 months before they are strong again.
Right.
So once that first bite is taken, it's like a wrestling match. It's like, it's going to take you another detox. It's going to take you set yourself back so many months when you take that first bite of that drug. And for most of us, it is a drug. For me, it's a drug, sugar.
You can look at it like this. I just had like an image of somebody, painting their wall, a brand new fresh coat of paint. And then you've got a toddler that comes in and colors all over the wall. If you imagine that hard work that you put into, taping the walls off so that you get crisp, clean lines. And then all of a sudden, this temptation comes in and decides to just,
Mhm.
put its handprints or a coloring or
Messes it
something
up.
on there and messes it all up, then you're going to have to start all over again
Yeah.
and go backwards every
Yeah.
single time you take that one bite.
Yeah.
Every single time that you decide, oh, I'll just give in this one time. And then
Yeah.
you just fall off the rails. All that hard work
Yeah.
is now erased and you're
Mhm.
going to have to start all over
And
again.
it's scientific. When you tease that ghrelin hormone, when you tease that and you wake it up, you put it to sleep. When you eat a healthy
Yeah.
lifestyle, when you eat on our food plan, you put that thing to sleep. Ghrelin is what it's what makes you feel hungry.
Hmm.
It's a hormone in your body. When you wake up a monster. It's like waking up a hibernating bear. And so when you do it, it's like people are like, "Oh, one bite won't hurt." Well, maybe that one bite was literally all they took. But the consequences of that one bite and waking up that hunger hormone, waking up that craving, waking up that drug sensation again is going to be much easier for you to take that next one bite 2 days from then and two
Right.
days from then. And so it may not be the one bite that hurts you, but it is that one bite that sets you on a spiral into relapse. And people do not understand relapse because we're not allowed to talk about it these days. We're not
Right.
allowed to be politically incorrect these days to say, you know what? You have a food addiction. You have a carbohydrate addiction, and here is your escape plan. We're not allowed to talk about that anymore because it's not the cool
Right.
intuitive eating plan that
Right.
everybody's offering these days. Well,
I would
how's the intuition worked for you
right.
so
I would
far?
challenge you if you wonder if you have that food addiction or um, you know, I guess I'm just going to say that. The food addiction,
Mhm.
if you have that, test yourself
Mhm.
by taking everything out of your life that you would typically have,
Mhm.
anything sweet to your mouth or all the carbs, not just,
Mhm.
the low, the high carb, it's low carb, everything.
Right.
Take all that out of your system and see if
Mhm.
you are going to probably knock somebody's head off if you don't have it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Or see if you can stop.
Yeah.
That when you take one more bite, see if you can stop
Yeah.
the next time.
Right.
Yeah.
I know for me, like even if it comes down to a berry, since since
Mhm.
going carnivore,
Mhm.
when adding those sweet carbs, when I'm for our hormonal our fasting like a girl, I've been doing
Mhm.
that practice where
Yeah.
I'm still majorly carnivore, adding certain carbs in
Mhm.
during certain cycles.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I not only feel like when I have any sort of berry, I
Mhm.
can't stop. Like especially
Right.
when I start the day. Like it is so um like
Mhm.
it triggers, like
Yeah.
you said, it triggers that ghrelin and
Yeah.
just makes you want to have that all day long
Yeah.
versus just like not having it. It's
Yeah.
amazing to be able to have that control.
Right.
But
I am very careful, and this is something that's new to me. Um, uh, Especially after going carnivore and then bringing in like on the weekends now, I'm doing carnivore about 90% of the time. And then on the
mhm,
weekends, because the garden is ready, I want to, add maybe some cherry tomatoes in or a tomato or something
yeah.
like that. But I am very like I physically will ask myself now, it's 11:30 and I haven't had anything to eat. When you're carnivore, you naturally do some intermittent fasting. I have
Mhm.
never, how I felt
Yeah.
about fasting
Yeah.
because I have an eating disorder. I have a
Yeah.
binge eating disorder. And so for me, I'm very careful when I work with clients on fasting. When I turn carnivore, it is a natural fast. I haven't had anything this morning except for my coffee. And when I go, I'm not even halfway hungry uh, at this point. But when I go out to the kitchen and I decide, okay, I'm going to break my fast, I'm going to eat. I've been physically asking myself, do I really want to wake that ghrelin up? And
Right.
what do I want to wake it up with?
Right.
When I wake it up with, say, a piece of steak or some chicken or some salmon, I am not hungry all day. It is just, I naturally feed my body. I naturally eat lunch. I feel great. Um, and there's no craving the rest of the day. If I broke my fast with a strawberry or something on the sweeter side, even a keto treat, I am hungry all day. Now, when I say hungry, it's not real
It's not
hunger.
real hunger, no.
It is, emotional eating. But that
Mhm.
I am a mess all day long and frustrated all day long because I'm wanting to go out to the kitchen all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm very careful as to how I break my fast in the morning when I wake up. I no longer put anything sweet in my coffee. I could, take it with or without. I love to make this beautiful bulletproof coffee with the LMNT and
Yeah.
the Jordan skinny syrup. I don't do that anymore because I found when I start my day like that, I'm hungry.
Right.
When I start with regular coffee, maybe some cream, I'm not hungry. And it's now
Right.
11:30. I haven't even thought about food today.
Right. Well,
So,
curving this back around to the enabling,
mhm,
you can get yourself to this point where your food noise gets turned off
mhm,
because you are so in tune with what works for your personal body
mhm.
that you don't need to be listening to anybody else
Right.
trying to get you to eat what they
Yeah.
want you to eat.
Yeah.
You know what you need to feed your body because you've done so well at knowing how you work.
Yeah.
The next step is to identify the enablers in your life
Who are they?
and who are they? Let
Drop their names in the comments. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like, wait,
I would
did you
have to
see my
put
face?
I did. I would put Tony Boyer. He's my son.
No, do it. We don't want to
No,
out
don't do
anybody,
that.
or we don't
Don't
want
do that.
anybody out for us.
No. No.
No. But identify that person in your life and know that, if and ask yourself, okay, why is this person so
Right.
adamant
Right.
about making me eat what they want me to eat?
Right.
Ask yourself that.
Mhm.
Go back into some historical
Mhm.
moments. It could become all about jealousy.
Mhm.
That could be, I mean,
Mhm.
for me and Monica, like that was me for Monica. Like I wasn't enabling her, but I had that jealousy for where she was physically and mentally and how she got there. Like
Mhm.
that was, and even though I was working hard with another form of diet that I've made up,
Mhm.
I was looking at her journey and I was just angry with her because she was so annoying.
Mhm.
those people those people will become very annoying to you when you've got your attention on them.
Yeah.
Like, and when they've got what you want.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
enablers out there.
Well, and just knowing on the front side, just knowing, hey, this person, let's call her mom. We'll just pull random.
Mom,
Mom is not supporting of my lifestyle. I know this. So what am I going to do? What mechanisms am I going to put in place in my life to protect my body from my mom? Put whoever your enabler is.
you can also say dad.
Dad, aunt, sister. I
Yeah,
know what they're doing. Maybe they don't mean it.
right.
Maybe they do. But maybe what am I going to do to protect my journey from this person? It is okay to put space in between you and your enabler, and you don't have to hurt their feelings. Now, what I tell my clients sometimes when I have a client who says, I've identified my enabler, I have to go to an event with this person. What I do, I don't want to hurt their feelings. What do I do? How do I get through this event with this enabler? And what I usually tell them, right or wrong, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but it's worked, is how close are you with this person? Do you have a continuing relationship with this person? For example, when we first started our small group at our church and we got our new group, right? I knew that they didn't know who I was from Adam. I was new to the church. I was new, they didn't know what lifestyle I was living. Now, I would have had two choices. Keep quiet and just sit there, or because I was having a relationship with them for the next 2 years, I said, here is my life. I'm Monica. This is how I eat. I do not expect you to feed me. I do not expect you to do anything for me. But just so you know, this is the boundaries that I put up in place in my life. So there's other people who you go, let's say we're going to a birthday party. Now, birthday parties are more relational. But let's say you have a business meeting of somebody you will never see again. There are ways that you can get around not participating. You can put the food on your plate. You can spread it around your plate looking like you're eating. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody there because you're never going to see them again. If you're with them more than 2 or 3 meetings, 2 or 3 times, have that tough conversation with them and say, listen, I'm going to ask you to support me. I'm going to ask you to be my wingman in this because I have a relationship with you and I want to continue that relationship with you. Are there toxic people that need to go for good? Absolutely. In all of our lives, there are. Maybe you can use food as that, as that way of, okay, this is toxic, right? I don't know.
Be gone.
Sorry. But you got to love yourself enough.
Yeah.
You got to love yourself and you have to believe in yourself and you have to have a big enough why to be able to have those hard, brave conversations.
Yeah.
But if you're with that person more than 2-3 times, have that hard conversation and say, listen, I need you to not do this anymore. And then don't expect that person to feed you. Don't expect that person to cater to you. If they love you, they perhaps will, but bring your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we call it being a keto chameleon.
Yep.
So that's how I talk to my clients and say, how often are you going to be with these people?
Yeah.
Are these people going to be in your life more than once or twice? Then have that hard conversation and say, listen, this is who I am right now. And if you love me, you'll support me in this.
Right.
And most likely they will. They just want to know that you're happy.
Yep.
Don't be a keto martyr around those people. Don't be sad every time they have an elephant ear and you don't. Pull something out of your pocket that you can have, that you enjoy, that you can participate with them.
Yep. It's amazing how our society has just made food as the connecting gatherer, you
Truly.
know, where food is like any party, it's all about the food. We're all just going to eat. You know, any family gathering, it's all about the food. It's not even about the memories you're making, the conversations you're having anymore. It's all about food. So, you know, you can turn that around by creating new memories. If your family has a tradition of making lasagna for Christmas, make a new tradition. Ask, hey, I would love to add this new tradition in our family and create memories. I love what we did for Christmas. More games were being played. We had we didn't have time to eat because we were playing games and creating memories.
Right.
Any vacation that you have, we normally go out to ice cream. You can still have the ice cream. Maybe you can have a sugar-free ice cream and then you're still making memories.
Yeah.
Or find something else that's fun that is like an active thing to do with your family on vacation. It's not about food.
It's not. And and if it continues to be around food, bring a keto lasagna.
Yeah.
You can ketoize anything. And when I use the word keto, I'm talking about whole foods. I'm not talking about a weird way of cooking.
No.
You can absolutely. I make the best keto lasagna. You bring that up.
You can make me some?
Using 2 layers of provolone cheese and turkey as my noodles. You can totally do your own thing, right?
Yeah.
But you will have to have some hard conversations.
Yes.
And it's time you start having hard conversations if you want to change your life. If you want to turn your health around, have those hard conversations with your family and friends.
Yes.
If you're only going to see them once, you can do this thing. You know exactly what to do when you're on a business meeting, right? But it's time to have some of those hard conversations, and they're not politically correct. They really aren't, because like Darcy said, we revolve our lives around food. And so everything is revolved around food, business meetings, all of these things.
When are we going to eat? Yes.
When are we going to eat? Well, I found myself doing that the last vacation. I found myself, sitting at breakfast, around the ocean, around the beach. And I'm like, oh, what are we doing for lunch? What are we doing for supper? It's true.
Right. I love my new way of just fueling my body with the proteins and then not having to think about food until my stomach says, hey, let's have a meal.
Yeah.
It could be 3:00, it could be 4:00.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's one thing I learned with carnivore. Once I went over that way, and Dr. Barry, I just love that man. Yeah. He had said something, because I was nervous when I started carnivore. I'm like, wow, that I felt like, when I was feeling like, the thought of eating another egg, the thought of eating another steak is just making me sick. I thought that was a physical thing, and then that there was something wrong. And I'm like, and he said, you eat when it sounds good. you're not truly hungry. If that doesn't
Right.
sound good, if you
Yeah.
you eat until it doesn't taste good anymore, that natural shut off for me was what helped me start to lose the rest of the 15 pounds that I had to lose.
Mhm.
So carnivore was really, really a big helper
Yes.
in that. Is it sustainable? It's arguable,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
It's completely
We're still
arguable.
unknown.
We are unknown. We are experimenting. Hey, by the way, guys, we are doing a another challenge.
Yes.
October
Yes.
1st. We have launched that link. And if you go to our website, kmhealthcoaching.org, you can pull up the registration for our 30-day carnivore
Yep.
challenge that we're going to start on October the 1st. Make sure you get your ticket. Make sure you get your seat. It is 30 days of full coaching.
Yep.
It is but somebody asked me, oh, what's included? I'm like, it is full.
It's everything.
It is everything. There's even a free recipe book that we're going to
Yeah.
include for a free download this time with all of
Yep.
our recipes that
Yeah.
we've had. I've got a friend that is putting those recipes together. So make sure you get your ticket. We are going to cut off the number one. There's an early bird price for this right now that will be going up in August. And then we are we asked the last round, what cost, what price range would you put on a package like this if we were going to do this again? And most of them said $299. Most of them said this is full out coaching for 30
Mhm.
days. And so we've got an early bird price that will go up, but we're also going to cut it off because we had 150 join us last time, which was it was a big group. It was a little bit too much for us to handle with the coaching that we did. And
Yeah.
so we're going to chop off that enrollment this time in October so
So
that we
get your
can give
spot.
full attention to our people.
Yes.
So
Yep.
guys, having enablers is normal. It's natural. It's frustrating, but it is the number one reason why you fall
Yeah.
off the wagon.
Mhm.
It's time to stand up for yourself and really know what you want.
Mhm.
Do you want that scale to move? Do
Yep.
you want that scale to move? Do you want to reverse your A1C? If you want to reverse your A1C and you want to reverse your type 2 diabetes, stop messing around.
Yeah.
Seriously, stop it.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it? Get serious.
Yeah.
Get your identity out there. Get your why out there on the table. Get mad. Get stinking mad that
Yeah.
people are trying to knock you off course and you are losing the same 5 pounds over and over. You're dropping your sugar and then you have a cheat day. The sugar goes back up to 300. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop. Own it. Own your health.
Yes.
All right. You're on vacation next week.
I know.
You are on vacation. That's exciting.
Yes.
Thursday
Yes.
afternoons when I coach so hard throughout the week, I put it all out on the field. You do too.
Mm.
When you get to your last client on that, for me it's Thursday. I'm like, oh my gosh! But you get to do that this time, and you're going to the beach.
Yes. Yep. I think I had most of my clients up on yesterday.
Oh, did you really?
I got some today.
Uh-huh.
And then who knows what Wednesday is? I don't think anybody booked on Wednesday, so
Ooh.
I'll still be working.
There you go. Well, we have a special show planned for you next Tuesday. So we
Yeah.
are still going to be here next Tuesday.
Yes.
It is all loaded up and ready to go. So so we still have a live on Tuesday while you're on the beach.
While I'm on the beach.
Yeah. Do you have any last words?
I would say to summarize what our first series and our second series is, identify the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Admit to the fact that you have an addiction problem,
Yeah.
and that secondly, knowing that enablers are going to crawl into your life all of a sudden when you're trying to get healthy. So identify your enablers and then deal with it.
Yeah.
I like the phrase that and this is kind of the theme of most of my coaching this week is just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I know it's a Nike slogan and I like Nike, but it's and then I don't.
Yeah.
but you just have to do it if you
Yeah.
want to see the progress that you're looking for.
You absolutely just have to do it. And maybe your enabler is an elephant ear.
Maybe.
Perhaps you can't handle going to the fair. Perhaps you may need to stay over on the animal side of the fair and you just cannot walk down down the midway where you are taunted by your enabler, the elephant ear.
Yeah.
It's okay to say that. It's okay to admit that there are places that I cannot go, and I'm okay with that because I like my health on this side so much better.
Yep.
It feels much better than being in my old life, in my old body.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, if you need help, it really is hard to do it by yourself. I understand why you keep failing over and over because I did it for 25 years. It is really hard to do it yourself. If you need help, reach out to Coach Darcy or myself. We are ready to walk with you. Our signature program, we don't talk about this a lot, but our signature program is 3 months. And it's 3 months for a reason because we get you through the honeymoon stage. We get you through because everybody can do anything for 8 weeks,
Yep.
It's hard when it gets to real life and you're dealing with, grandma, you're dealing with a death, you're dealing with, a divorce, whatever it is, kids, summer break, all of those things. So we have a 3-month signature program out there for a reason, because that is when we get you through the ugly. We get you through the hills and the valleys. So if you are ready, you just say, Monica, Darcy, I need your 3-month program. Please sign me up for your 3-month program because I know that I've tried this and I can't do it alone anymore.
Right.
We want the best of the best for you. So, by the way, that 3-month program now includes group. It includes individual coaching, and it includes our group coaching, which is actually the bow on top of all of it. When you go through it with a group, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Coach, you enjoy your vacation, but we will still be here next Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. So don't miss our show next Tuesday. And reach out to us. kmhealthcoaching.org is our website. Feel free to go over there, grab your ticket to the 30-day carnivore challenge on October 1st. Grab that at the price it is now because it will be going up. So,
soon.
So we will see you next Tuesday, everyone.
Yep.
Have a great one. Coach Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck, battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below. And I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We cannot wait